Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Upstart 101. Let me formally welcome and introduce y'all to this channel of mine where it is, a representation of one of my passions. And one of my passions just so happens to be this team right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to discuss any and everything Eagles, raw and uncut, good, bad, ugly, whatever you want to call it. So that being said, if you appreciate what you're hearing or you have any thoughts about what you're hearing, please feel free to leave comments. And I would like to interact with my Eagle Nation, see what's going on with this team, man. So, on to the elephant in the room right now. Eagles 17, Giants 27. Guys, this was a big game. This was a big game because if the Eagles win this game, their record would have been 500. A little bit better than 500 with the tie, but 500, 4-1. Doesn't that look better than 3-5? Don't you want to have some credibility when you talk about your team? Don't you want to say, you know what? Yeah, this division sucks, but guess what? At least we're the only team in it that's at 500 and had the potential of going over 500 next week. And instead of thinking like that, they come out and they just lay an egg, man. Let's just call it like it was. The defense was still, I don't know where they went for their bye week, but they stayed there. The defense did not show up. It's just sad to look at, man, because I'm thinking, what's at stake. And granted, at some point, the Giants were eventually going to get a win on the Eagles anyway. It was going to come, but they didn't need to come today. Today was not the right time for that. Golden opportunity to improve yourself to 500, and then you just go and roll the dice with the rest of your schedule. Now, man, who can honestly say they're going to be proud of a team that makes the playoffs with a losing record? Assuming this team makes the playoffs now. You can't beat the Giants. You think they're going to Cleveland and winning? You think they're beating Seattle? Arizona? Come on, man. Green Bay, New Orleans? It's so frustrating to watch because it's like, man, who's to blame? Seems like every week, I won't even say every week, because for the first 8 games of the season, the poor record, to me, all that stuff falls on Carson. Today, some of it falls on Carson, but that defense did not show up at all. At Dougie P's stupidity. If I've got Miles Sanders running the ball, and he's got it working, why not just keep giving it to him? I'm at the point right now where I want the ball in Carson's hands as few times as possible. Seriously. He leaves too much out there. High passes, bad mechanics. He leaves too much out there. Despite the defense, man, this team should not be 3-5-1 at this point. So a lot of that, falls on the head of the quarterback, who's getting paid like a guy that's gonna pull you those 2-3 games a year out when the defense just doesn't have it. There are gonna be games like that in the season. Today was one of those games. What's the excuse? Thought he had a pretty decent time to throw the ball. You ran the ball well. This is the fullest complement of wide receivers you've had all year. And what are you doing? Overthrowing them high, stumbling on the center, trying to get back to take a step back drops. It's just bad, man. It sucks watching it because you know that this team is so much better than what they're showing. And it's getting to the point now whereas I don't know. Well, I take that back. I do know Jim Schwartz has to go. There's just no excuse. I mean, the Giants pretty much could have done any and everything they wanted today, and they did. Jim Schwartz has to go. The defense did not impose his will at all on this game. We were still on the bye week. Still on the bye week. So what's your realistic, I ask you all this, what's your realistic expectation of this team now? See, for me, even if this team does have a losing record and gets into the playoffs, even though I don't want them to have a losing record, but it's still important to a certain extent because we need to see what this guy can do, Carson, in the playoffs. So it's still important to me that you win this division, even if you don't have a winning record, which it looks like it's not going to be a winning record. And we need to see what he can do once he gets in the playoffs. And you could say, well, if we've got a losing record, then we're pretty much destined to lose once we get to the playoffs. Maybe. But you still got to see how this dude performs in that situation. We've never seen that. We've never seen that. And then after that, you've got to see how that goes, and just got to get ready for this tough offseason, because it's going to be major changes done to this team next year. With a projection of $64 million being over the cap, it's going to be major changes made to this team next year. A lot of the guys you're seeing right now aren't going to be here, which may be a good thing. I don't know, but I think maybe, especially defensively, you just need a change of philosophy. But a lot of these guys, this is it for them here. $64 million over the cap. It's going to be a lot of contract restructurings. First person they need to go to is Carson. Yeah, I said it. Go to Carson. Look, you want to stay? We're going to restructure this deal. You're going to be the first person I go to. There's going to be others they're going to have to go to, and if they're not with it, then, I mean, you may see them going. But it's going to be a lot of changes to this team next year. That being said, you still need to see what he can do in the playoffs, because you still have that unknown, and this will be your sixth season, and you don't even know that about your quarterback. And this is your franchise quarterback, supposedly, who hasn't played like a franchise quarterback at all this year. And another thing about him, I haven't checked and seen his post-game comments yet. I will be, and I'll comment on that later, but in another video, of course. But if I hear this guy say one more time, I've got to be better, I'm gonna snap. Because when he says that, all he does is contradict himself. He'll say he has to be better, and then turn around and say, but I'm gonna continue to do me and play my way. That's the biggest contradiction right there. You can't play better doing it your way right now. It's not working. It's not working. He gets no pass. He gets no excuse from me today. This is your fullest complement of weapons that you had. This is one of those games, like I said, you're getting paid like that. I need you to win this for me. My defense is still on bye week. I need you to win this for me. He didn't do it. Dougie P didn't help either, because you should have rolled Miles Sanders all day long. And Jim Schwartz, I don't know what to say about that subject. But that's my take on this game. Big ups to the Giants. Like I said, I knew at some point they were going to eventually win a game against the Eagles, but it did not need to be today. Today was the wrong time for that. The wrong time. It seems like we're the only team that makes Danny Dimes look like Michael Vick. He can run on us anytime he wants to, seems like. But kudos to them. They won the game. Gets them closer in the division race. You know, we'll see how it goes. But this team got to get it together, man. And it's not gonna get any easier. I mean, if you want it hard, you want it really hard. I mean, you put yourself in that position where it's gonna be really hard now. The games that you should have won, you didn't. So now you got to go and steal some games that you're not expected to win. And with the way they've played all year, can you really expect them to do that? I don't know. Guess we got to sit back and watch. But yeah, I'll be back later. I'm going to pay attention to the post-game comments, see what's said. I just got on here because I was just so ticked off, man, because I thought for sure this was a game they were going to win coming off of the bye. But I got to remember, this isn't Andy Reid that's coaching this team, man. You know how it was like 10, 12, 15 years ago whenever the Eagles came off of a bye, somebody was going to get their ass kicked that following week. Man, instead of that, we come out and get ours kicked, come out looking flat as I don't know what. Times change, but it's just, they got to get better, man. They got to get better. So, if you don't mind, I would love to hear what you all think about it. Let me know, and I'll be back in contact with you in a bit. Upstart 101, Eagle 101, Eagle Nation 101. Peace.